Hi, I'm JT Shrewsbury, and you're watching Scursive. Today, I'm going to show you how to make Bavarian pretzels from scratch. Now here at Shrewsbury on Scursive, this weekend, I'm hosting an Oktoberfest, and I'd like to make some authentic German food. Bavarian pretzels is one of those. So I wanted to bring you along to show you how I do that. Okay, now let's go over the ingredients. Okay, it's not that difficult. First, now this is bread flour, okay? So just any type of bread flour, whatever your favorite brand is, it's 4 cups. So just 4 cups of bread flour, okay? A teaspoonish of salt. Now I didn't measure these out. They are what they are. I just kind of like, okay, that's what I'm putting in there. This is my 1 tablespoon of brown sugar. Now this is the dark brown sugar. That's just my favorite type of brown sugar. That's what I'm using. The recipe just calls for brown sugar. And 2 tablespoons of butter. This is 3, but roughly 2 tablespoons of butter. And you're going to want to melt this first, which I'll do behind the scenes. Of course, a packet of yeast. You're going to need some instant yeast for that. And then 1.5 cups of warm water or beer. Now we're going to use beer because it gives it that Bavarian flavor. That's how they traditionally make it, and I want to be as authentic as possible. As far as I know, I'm being authentic as possible. But this is a Hofbrauhaus Dunkel, one of my favorite beers. That's what we're serving on tap here this weekend, you know, for the Oktoberfest. But so we're going to use this. It's not. I haven't heated this up, but you don't want to get it too hot. If you've watched any of my past videos, I've killed yeast before. I don't think I'm going to heat this up at all. I think I'm just going to leave it get to room temperature, and then I'll start mixing. All right, first what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the brown sugar, I'm going to put it in the beer, okay? I don't know if you remember my last video for the pizzas. You know, when it comes to yeast, what do yeast like? They like sugar, brown sugar. That's, you know, food for the yeast. Okay, then we're going to throw our yeast in here, which this step, you could probably just throw everything in there that you want all at once. But I'm going to do it this way. Okay, so I got my yeast, sugar, and beer in here, and brown sugar. Now, if last year when I made this, I actually had some barley malt, and I used that instead of brown sugar, which you can do. So if you have barley malt laying around, use it. It's good. It gives it a really good flavor. Okay, we're mixing that up. Okay, and then in this one, we got to put in the salt. I'm going to leave a little bit out of that. Okay, and we put our melted butter in there, which I left in the house, and I have to go get. So, movie magic, melted butter. Okay, so I have the melted butter. Now this is, I have 3 tablespoons in here. The recipe only calls for 2. I like butter. Make sure it's real butter. Don't use margarine. That's just water and oil. It has to be traditional butter. If a recipe calls for butter, use butter. All right, so we're going to throw that in there. All right, I probably should have done that inside the mixer itself. Let's open this bad boy up. Okay, we got our mixing bowl. I'm just going to go ahead and pour all this stuff right back in here because that's where it's supposed to be in the first place. There, so I'm mixing all this in there. Okay, put that in there. Give it a little stir. All right. Put these over here, that over there. And we got our yeast and stuff in here. There we go. Pour that in there like that. Okay. Now, I'm going to give this a little pre-mix here before I throw it in the blender. There we go. Okay. So, let's put that down there like that. If you can see, I got that little hook. That little bread hook on there again. Look at that bread hook. And then, I don't know. I'm just going to turn it on. So we're going to let this knead for about 15 minutes. I'll keep an eye on it. And if it looks a little too dry, I'll add a couple tablespoons of beer. If it's starting to look too wet, I'll add a couple of tablespoons of flour. It's not looking like I'm going to need any more flour. If anything, I'm going to need a couple tablespoons of beer. Much better. Yeah, it's looking like I'm going to need to add some beer. Yep, that did it. Whoops, lost my mic. Sorry, folks, this is not a professional production. I'm just a man in his garage. Trying to bring you into my world. I don't have a stage crew. I do all the editing myself. I have to set up all the cameras, all the lighting, all the dialogue. I don't pre-plan it probably the way you would an actual show where you have key points that you should talk about. I don't do any of that. I just, what you see is what you get. If you like what you see, subscribe to this channel. If you like this video, hit the like button. I don't know how often I'll be putting up videos. I do have a full-time job, so I have to do this on my off time, and it does take a long time to edit a movie or a video. So I don't spit them out as fast as I'd like. If I could do this full-time, it would be a different story. I could put them out a lot quicker, and I would actually make more videos. There's certain things I just don't record just because I know I won't have time to edit it properly. So, can you see how dry that looks? Let's stop it. Let me stop this thing. Okay, so that stopped it, and then there. So that's looking pretty dry. I think what I'm going to do is just go ahead and add a couple more tablespoons of beer to it. Because it's looking a little too dry. It should form a ball, and that does not look like a ball. I probably need more than a couple tablespoons, but I'm just going to do 2 tablespoons at a time, just to be on the safe side, and that's exactly what you probably should be doing. Lucky for me, there's a little hole right here. I can add my ingredients through here when I put this down, so that's what I'm going to do. I don't know what that is. That's probably more than 2 tablespoons. I'll probably put what I think 2 tablespoons is in it. We'll give that a few minutes to work and see what happens. Then I'll try to bring you over to look at it again. Starting to make a ball. I don't know if that's... That's what we want right there. That's what I was waiting for. It wasn't doing that. Okay. Well, it's not sticky. I mean, actually, for me, I don't know if you'd call that too dry or not. I mean, would you call that too dry? Maybe a little bit? I don't know. if you know, and you're like a professional chef or baker, and you've made these pretzels before, is that too dry? It feels perfect to me. All right, so what we're going to do is I am going to put this in this dish right here. I got to dry this out. I'll put a little layer of oil in it, olive oil, and let this rise. So let's just do that. Before I can do that, I need to dry this out. I'm going to use another towel. Call this my drying towel. All right, and this is, there we go. And then I'm going to go with some olive oil, some Pam. I'm going to spray some in here. That's probably enough. Just going to mix around with my fingers. All right. So I got that. I'm going to take this dough ball and put that in there. I'm going to spray the top of it as well. And the reason I do that is because when I get this out of here, I like to have a layer of oil on it. And some of that oil, it keeps it from sticking to your board. So, and I don't like using flour, to put on my cutting board. So put a little layer on there. It keeps it from sticking, makes it easy to work with, especially with your hands. It doesn't stick to you. That's just my thing. Right or wrong, that's how I do it. That's how I'm always going to do it. You may do it differently. I don't know. So now I'm going to cover that up with some shrink wrap. Some people just use a damp towel. I must not know how to do it right because my damp towel keeps drying out. So I stopped using it. I just use cling wrap. It works best for me. You see that? All right, so I just got that. I have that covered up. And see what it looks like from the side there. So let that, here, I'll get it close up. Just let that sit. So while that's rising, I'm going to go cut the grass. That's good. Okay, some time's passed. I got my grass cut. It's a little dark outside now, so the lighting may have changed. But more importantly, our dough has risen. I don't know if you can see this. Here, let me bring it over to you. Look at that. It's not pretty. It's not silky smooth like you see on those cooking shows, but it works for me. All right, now what we got to do is we got to shape our pretzels. Okay, for tonight, I'm going to save this dough for tomorrow because that's when my party is. I want my pretzels to be fresh. But I'm going to cut a piece off of here and make a pretzel for you so you can, just for the show's sake, just so you can see what I'm doing. So I'm going to go ahead and take off my shrink wrap here, or cling wrap, whatever you want to call it. I'm going to dump out this dough. Look at that, man. Okay, I'm just going to cut me off a little piece here. There we go. And what I'm going to do with the rest of this is I'm going to refrigerate it overnight, and then tomorrow morning I'm going to take it out, and I'm going to let it come up to room temperature. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to make pretzel bites with it. Okay, so there, I got done with that. All right, so we're done with that. So now what we have to do is we're going to take this dough. See my little piece there. Just gonna roll it out. Just gonna roll it out. And you want, like, I don't know, 18 inches or so. I'm not going to measure this out. I'm just going to keep doing it until it gets to where I want it. Probably should have done this on the bare counter. I'm just going to do it this way. You guys can see that from the overhead cam if it's working this time. Had the overcam working earlier, or on earlier as I thought, but again, folks, sometimes it just doesn't work out the way you want it. Camera shut off, so I didn't get any of that overhead footage. Okay, I mean it's pretty long. You can stretch it out a little bit, but it's pretty springy. It'll go back to the to the place. And then to make your pretzel, you just put it in a U shape like that. Cross it over once. Cross it over twice. Then you just bring it in. Bring it in, and just shape your pretzel. So there it is. So now we got our pretzel shape. Okay. And then so we shaped our pretzel. I've got 8 cups of water boiling here. And what we're going to add to that is a half a cup of baking soda. Okay. We're going to put this in here like that. Basically what that's going to do, that's going to give that slim layer of crispiness to the pretzel as you're used to. That's how we do it. But here, let me stir this up real quick. Make sure there we go. Okay, so now hopefully that overhead camera's still going on. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take this pretzel. You see the pretzel right here? I'm going to throw it in this solution right here, like that, for about 30 seconds. I don't have a timer on me. More technical difficulties. So we want it to in that solution for about 30 seconds. Just make sure it stays covered. As you can see, I'm just going to dunk it under a little bit. Again, 30 seconds. I'm going to just wing it. Okay. And that's going to kind of dissolve or melt the outer layer of that pretzel. Okay. Now, after you do that, I'm going to get all the water off of it. Let's turn this off. Okay, we'll let that drain a little bit. I'm going to put this on my pan. You usually just put it on that cookie sheet, which I'll do tomorrow. But for today, I'm just going to put it on this pan. Okay, the next step is to coat the pretzel. So let me get my egg going here. So you take 1 egg, like that. I'm going to mix this up here. You can see that. Just going to mix my 1 egg up a little bit here. All right. Doesn't take much, folks. Okay. Now you want to take that, and then what you want to do is you want to take this egg, you just want to brush it over top of your pretzel. Okay? Just brush it over top of your pretzel. That's probably good. All right. Now that you got that done, some people like a little salt, some people like a lot of salt. This is where the salt comes in. Just sprinkle that salt on top. I think my lighting's changed. It looks dimmer. Okay. That's it. So, there you go. Now that's ready. Okay, you've cured the outside of it. I don't know if cured's the right word, but you've did your science stuff on it. Now it's ready to bake. You put your egg on there. That's going to give it that nice, I guess, brown glow to it, I'm going to assume. Folks, I'm not a cook. I'm not a chef. I get these recipes off the internet just like everybody else. I just take different recipes and I put together the ones I like. I just kind of take a little bit from each one and kind of make it my own, and that's how I do it. I borrow from several different recipes to kind of do what works best for me. So, and then I expect you to do the same thing. Just do what works best for you. I wouldn't skip any steps, but I would, mess around with the recipe if you want. So right now, there it is. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to wait for this oven right here to preheat to 450, and we're going to put it in this oven for about 12-14 minutes until it turns golden brown, basically. Yeah, so tomorrow I'll take the rest of this dough. I'm just going to make little pretzel bites out of it, but I'll do the same process. I'll cut them up. I'll roll them into balls, probably maybe little oblong balls. Then I'll put them into this bath for 30 seconds. Then I'll put them on a cookie sheet like this, big cookie sheet, giant cookie sheet. And I'll cook these in the oven in the house. This is really good at keeping things from sticking on it, so you don't need any extra oil or anything. Just they're silicone mats. And I'll cook the rest of those up tomorrow. I don't know if those will be in a video or not. They may or may not. I also have to cook potato pancakes tomorrow. So I don't like preparing that the night before. I'm afraid the potatoes will get soggy. So I'll wake up early in the morning and I'll start the potato pancake process. And I'll probably videotape that and let you guys see what I'm doing there. And then after that's done, so that, this will be its own video. The potato pancakes will be its own video. And then I will have either a short video or a long video. I'm not really sure what I'm going to do yet. I'm just going to play it by ear of the festival itself. So stay tuned for that. Be looking out for that. It takes me a little while to edit these videos. So, it's mid-October right now. I'm in the middle of editing another video, Renaissance Festival. So I'll probably finish that one before I even start Oktoberfest. Depends on how, I don't know, I may or may not finish that one first. I may just switch to one of these. This video right here should be pretty short and sweet and easy to do. Potato pancakes will be an easy one. And even the Oktoberfest might be an easier one to do than the Renaissance Festival. That's probably going to be a multi-day kind of thing. I've already got an hour's worth of video that I need to cut, and that only takes me within the first half hour of it's just there's a lot of video there to edit. Okay, all right, our oven is preheated, so we're going to throw this bad boy in. Okay, set it and forget it. Movie magic. Good stuff. Okay, it's been in there for about 12 minutes. 12 minutes exactly. So let's take it out and look at it. Okay. I can't pick it up because it's hot, but look at that. Hopefully you can see that. We're going to let that cool off for a second. That looks delicious. That looks really good. I'm going to need to take a picture of that. I'm going to have to stop this video for a second and take a picture of that. No, I'll bring you guys back. But, I mean, geez, look at this thing. This is great. I mean, look at that. That is beautiful. That turned out really good. I bet you that's going to be delicious. We just got to let it cool off. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful, folks? It's got the brown shininess to it. That's what the solution did to it. It gives that outer crispiness. So let's go ahead and try it. Look at that. You see that? Can you see the steam coming off of it? Look at that. Wow. That is good. There is nothing better than a fresh, hot pretzel. Oh my gosh. Yep. This is definitely a winning recipe. I don't think I'll ever change from this recipe. I mean, it is so good. I don't think I could top that. Wow. Man. I can't stop eating it. Let me just whole thing. Wow. I'm going to take some of that into Susan and let her try it. Well, there you have it. That's how you make homemade Bavarian pretzels from scratch. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe. And also, if you want to get a notification for future videos, ring the bell. Thanks for watching.